This is Wayne S. Pierce for the American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com. How are you? Are you good? You like that opening music? That was kind of cool. Anyway, folks. Anyway, what's up? It's the 20th of May, 2017. Lots going on around here. Lots going on around Billings, Montana. We got Greg Giaforte. There we go. Sorry, Greg. Running for Congress, and obviously, people are saying he's bad. Of course, he's not as bad as Quist. Is that what his name is? My mama once asked me, or told me, straight to my face, politics and religion should stay private. And I, it's like, wait a minute, hold on. Why should it be? Well, a friend of mine told me that she doesn't talk politics because people get emotional about it. Well, the only reason why you get emotional about it is because you think you're right, and you're not. I'm not saying that to my friend or about my friend, but the majority of the people who think they know what's right politically are total douchebags. They have absolutely no idea what's going on. And the people that do know what's going on actually have, folks, they actually have a brain. They think outside the box. They critically think they know what's going on, right? So here we are in this whole system of politics. And we have this underlying feeling that we know what we're doing. I know what I'm talking about because since President Jimmy Carter was in office and he had his administration, I've been researching and studying a lot of this stuff out. I've been looking into geopolitics for a very, very long time. 40 years, folks. 40 years been looking into this. Do I know everything? No. Do I make mistakes? Am I perfect? No. Yes and no. Do I make mistakes? Yes. Am I perfect? No. But I know, I have a feeling. Somebody out there is going to disagree with me when I say this, but I know for a fact what is going on. I don't want to sit here and debate anybody if they were across from me, if they don't know what they're talking about. That's simple logic. If you don't know what you're talking about, don't say anything. You know what I'm saying? So when I spend my time looking at articles, reading articles, looking at, various things in this political arena, and I look at the schemes of both parties, and I look at what they are truly saying, my big question is, why the hell would anybody vote for anyone? You know what I'm saying? Why would anybody want to vote for anybody? I mean, it makes no freaking sense. It does not make any sense. But I do know this as well. And that is I've taken time. I've looked at the issues. I've looked at the subjects. I've looked at why people say certain things, because they'll always follow up with something that will solidify what they said before. I do the same thing. But I critically think outside of their box. I go beyond what they're saying. I add to things, or I examine those things. And I get to know who that person is. Hey, I'm not, shy about calling people out. In the last year or so, I haven't talked about or even heard his show. Brian Keller over at Shake and Wake, I think it's Shake and Wake Radio or something. I don't know where he is now. I have no idea. I haven't heard him in a while. Last time I was on his show, the producer of the show, the owner of the network, kind of pissed me off, so that's why I didn't go back. But I love coffee. But Brian Keller once thought as I do. Once thought as the vast majority of the independent media does. But then he started throwing doubt within his own mind because he put everything, he put the emphasis on God. He got really, he's, and I'm not afraid to say this. He is a minister. I make no bones about that. But he ignores the obvious, as a vast majority of the American people do. It's not that you're ignorant because you're unintelligent. It's ignorant because you're ignoring the obvious. Okay. Let me. I want to thank Dodie Reif over at Nova Center for the Performing Arts last night, who kind of brought together the crew and just said, this is a teaching moment. And I went, ooh, good idea. So, because we do that. So let me look and give you a teaching moment here of what the word obvious means. Okay? Obvi, if I can spell it. I had to phonetically say it. Easily seen, recognized, or understood, open to view or knowledge, evident, lacking in subtlety. Or one of the words, it's an obsolete meaning, saying being or standing in the way. Okay? Another synonym for this is plain, manifest, clear, palpable. There we go. Unmistakable. The antonym is hidden. Obvious, easy to see, to understand. Evident, exhibiting motives, feelings, intentions, etc., clearly or without subtlety. Naive or unsubtle. Has a little thing by it. Says the play was rather obvious. Being or standing in the way, which is obsolete. That's an obsolete meaning, by the way. That's what obvious is. Okay? So I'm going to put that link on American Liberty Radio Podcast for you guys to go check it out. Go to dictionary.com and put it in there. But I'll put the link there on the podcast Facebook page. I'm also going to look up the word ignorant because I want you folks to understand what it truly means. And when you combine both words, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. Now let me go up here, dictionary.com, ignorant. Rant. I missed a letter there. Lacking in knowledge or training, unlearned. Lacking knowledge or information as to a particular subject or fact. Uninformed, unaware, due to or showing lack of knowledge or training. Okay. I'm going to put that one up there as well. Right underneath the one I just put up there, it says definition of obvious. I'm going to put this next one in the comments section. So you're unaware of the things that are right out in front of you. Okay? You're completely unaware. I mean, you're ignoring it, folks. You're just ignoring it. You're ignoring it, you're hiding, you're pushing away, you're closing your eyes off to the things that you don't want to see, which are just obvious. It's right out in front of your face and it's staring at you and saying, hi, I'm here. And you're going, no, you're not, because I don't see you. Same thing with hearing. You ignore the things that you hear by sticking your fingers in your ears and going, la, 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 I'm not hearing you, la, la, la. You see what I mean? So I wanted to add that little piece of information to you today. on the 20th of May 2017. Let's get on with the show, shall we? You want to do that? Or is it just going to be a mini podcast? You want to do that? No. I'm going to full, I'm going for the whole show, folks. So, hey. Whoops. Didn't want to click on that. Well, because there's a couple things I want to talk about today. First of all, Trump told the Russians firing quote-unquote nut job Comey eased pressure from investigation. Quote, I face great pressure because of Russia. That's taken off, unquote. It's that time of day again. The market is nearly closed. The weekend draws close, and the mainstream media needs a new narrative. Well, voila, from none other than anonymously source U.S. officials, the New York Times proclaims that, quote, President Trump told Russian officials in the Oval Office this month that firing the FBI Director James B. Comey had relieved, quote-unquote, great pressure on him, according to a document summarizing the meeting. Quote, I just fired the head of the FBI. He was crazy, a real nut job, unquote, Mr. Trump said, according to the document, which was read to the New York Times by an American official. Quote, I face great pressure because of Russia. That's taken off, unquote. Mr. Trump added, quote, I'm not under investigation, unquote. You can add anything in there, folks. I'm just going to put the rest of that on American Liberty Radio Podcast. You can speculate all you want all day long. You can come up with anything you want just by reading that. But I'm going to go ahead and read some of this. Continuing on, it says, is that what they are laughing at in this image? There's a picture there of a Russian diplomat and President Trump. Or are they scoffing at the Anthony Weiner's sexts? The sexting of Anthony Weiner. The New York Times adds that the White House document that contained Mr. Trump's comments was, quote, and I don't want to quote this, I'm going to emphasize this because it's in bold letters here or highlighted letters here. It says here, the New York Times added that the White House document that contained Mr. Trump's comments was based on notes taken from inside the Oval Office and has been circulated as the official account of the meeting. Additionally, one official read quotations to the Times, and the second official confirmed the broad outlines of the discussion, suggesting that the long knives close to Trump may be getting sharper. There may have been a method to Trump's madness, art of the deal, if you will. According to yet another government official briefed on the meeting and quoted by the New York Times, quote, Trump was using a negotiating tactic when he told Mr. Lavrov about the quote-unquote pressure he was under. The idea was to create a sense of obligation with Russian officials and to coax concessions out of Mr. Lavrov on Syria, Ukraine, and other issues by saying that Russian meddling in last year's election had created enormous political problems for Mr. Trump, unquote. It's unclear if this particular approach worked, although in retrospect, it certainly provided hours of entertainment for the Russian foreign minister. In response to the New York Times story, the White House did not deny the quotes, but instead said that Comey's, quote, grandstanding, unquote, and, quote-unquote, politicizing of the Russian probe hurt diplomatic efforts with Moscow. Quote, the president has always emphasized the importance of making deals with Russia as it relates to Syria, Ukraine, defeating ISIS, and other key issues for the benefit and safety of the American people, unquote. White House spokesman Sean Spicer says in a statement, quote, by grandstanding and politicizing the investigation into Russia's actions, James Comey created unnecessary pressure on our ability to engage and negotiate with Russia, unquote, Spicer says. The rest of that is up on American Liberty Radio Podcast. Basically what that is, Spicer is saying that the opposition was creating negative waves against the candidate and now President Trump because the opposition wanted to hold the reins of the government, i.e. Hillary Clinton, and therefore created tension between Russia and the U.S. We've had a very good relationship with Russia, even though they are, I don't know, you want to call them an enemy? I'll call them a frenemy. We've got a pretty good relationship with Vladimir Putin. And some of you folks out there who are democratic socialists would rather have him as president of the United States. So, I just don't want to sit here and give you all of this, which, of course, you guys can go see on your own. Go to American Liberty Radio Podcast on Facebook and check it out. As leaks pile up, it's evident Trump is under attack from his own staff. Quote, every day Trump looks more and more like a complete moron, unquote. Squeeze me? It's coming from inside the House. Throughout Trump's presidency and increasingly in the past few weeks, leaks from staff members to the press are undermining the president. I'm going to stop right there. I'm not even going to go any further than that. But just with that particular subheadline right there, I'm going to say this. It is the progressives on the right, the Republican fascists who are doing this. They're trying to undermine President Trump, making him look like an idiot. He's not. He's been in business for how long, and he's created how many jobs and all of it. He's not an idiot, but the people inside his own party have created such animosity within their own party that people are now looking at Trump as being an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Animosity, is that a word? Did I use that in the right context? My English teacher is probably rolling over in her grave. I don't know. Report. British teen sex slaves fed into meat grinders by Muslims. Europe continues to cower in radical Islamic death cult. That's what it is, folks. I'm just going to bottom line it for you. We need to ban these people completely out of the United States of America. Oh, wait, they already did that in 1952. What the hell are we doing? I don't give a crap what your opinion is about, well, they're coming from... No. Time out. Go sit in the corner, dunce. You might have a particular perspective about the Muslim culture. I have lived in Stockton, California, where I grew up, and there's a big Muslim community there. My mom knew a few. I knew a few. We grew up. My mom grew up in Stockton, lived there all her life. She knew people, I knew people, I knew people when I was going to high school that said they were Muslim. And I graduated in 1980. Yeah, folks, do the math. But the thing is, not all of them are bad. It's what the globalists want to do that has caused us to react in the way that we have. And rightly so, because the globalists have funded, through George Soros, the Rockefellers, and all this, that, and the other thing, have funded both sides of this political battle that we're having. Oh, and by the way, did you know, and this is on record, by the way, you can go look this up, most of your Christian churches, Muslim churches, Jewish church synagogues, most of those mainstream religions that are in the United States of America have all been infiltrated by government officials, government operatives. Yeah. They've influenced everything from education to politics to where you're, what happens in your city. This literally is the modern day governor, priest, or, leader in your country that is literally leading you into the freaking abyss. Okay? And it is hard to understand that. I know. I know that. I know that. It's hard for anybody to understand. But the thing is that your churches, your synagogues, your temples have all been infiltrated by government operatives of the United States of America and possibly other countries. Okay? This is, you can go look this up. This is fact. I'm not giving you some sort of quote-unquote conspiracy theory. There are no theories anymore. It's all fact. It's all out there. Go look it up. Here, let me do something because I love to do this. I want to show you exactly what I'm doing here. Okay. Government operatives in churches. That's what I put into Google. Okay. And it said I misspelled government for some reason. I don't know. Here we go, right here. American, I don't know about this site. This is the first time I've gone to this website. AmericanHolocaustComing.blogspot.com. First time ever here. Okay? CIA infiltration into America's churches today. This is from an article from a blog from 15th October 2011. Kind of coincidental, it's Saturday when this was put out. 15th October 2011. I will put this on American Liberty Radio Podcast as well as others. CIA infiltration into America's churches today. One example that almost proved fatal. By Pamela Ray Schiffert, presenting investigative journalism from biblical Christian perspective. Okay? Okay? Just, I'm laying it out for you right there. So I'm going to leave that right there. And I am going to put that whole thing on American Liberty Radio Podcast. I want you to read it and come up with your own conclusions on this, right? I want you to do that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what to think, how to think, whatever. I'm not going to do that. No. But I also want to go here. Okay? As I try to find it, I saw it earlier. When I put that in the Google search. Okay, I can't find it. Oh well, it's probably flipped. But American Liberty Radio Podcast, go check that out. Because here's what's happening. The globalists are coming together and they're saying, where are people focusing their attention? What they do is through psychological manipulation and neuro-linguistic programming, they go ahead and they attack us on that level. Where are we focused the most? They attack us on that level. And it is an attack, seriously. Okay? So they go to the churches. And they pretty much write, quote unquote, write the Sunday sermons. By the way, you have clergy response teams. Go look that up. Here, I'll look that up for you. Hold on here. Browser decides to burp on me here. So, sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Clergy response teams. I'm not doing anything other than what you guys can do too. So let me look at this. Clergy response teams. This is from clergyresponseteams.com. Clergyresponseteams.com. First time I've ever gone to this site. From Paul Joseph Watson, PrisonPlanet.com, Monday, 2nd of February, 2009. Okay, I'm going to put this on the podcast page. It says here, church organization refuses to divulge if pastors are on FEMA payroll. This is from 2009, folks. A large church organization has refused to divulge how many of its pastors are on FEMA payroll after a member expressed concerns about religious leaders being used to condition their congregation to accept the declaration of martial law. Okay. Just, I mean, it's. There's a video clip that was been removed. It's unavailable, but you could probably find it on YouTube. Church organization refuses to divulge if pastors are on FEMA payroll. It goes on to say, despite debunkers and urban myth websites claiming the story was a hoax, it was confirmed in triplicate by mainstream news outlets over a year ago. That would mean 2008. Concerned about such developments, a member of the California-based Worldwide Church of God, an organization that boasts 64,000 members in 860 congregations, in about 90 countries, asked if any of the church pastors were involved in the FEMA program. Quote, the head office quickly replied hastily within an hour by telling me, quote, sorry, that is privileged information, unquote. The man states, quote, the reply was in big, bold script like I've never seen before in emails. I was also a bit put off by the word privileged, unquote. I'm putting that on American Liberty Radio Podcast. Folks, it's important to know every angle, every aspect, every place that the government is trying to infiltrate to make your life a living hell. Okay? So that's on American Liberty Radio Podcast, an article from 2009 by Paul Joseph Watson, PrisonPlanet.com. Let's go one more place. Or no, I just saw something. Sorry. Hold on. Dave Hodges, thecommonsenseshow.com. Your pastor has sold you out, the clergy response team and the FEMA camps. This is from... there is no date on this, but it's from the Common Sense Show. Oh, here it is. By Dave Hodges, 17th December 2016, from last year, just a few months ago. Okay. There's a video, so I'm not even going to read anything. There's a video there. There's some words there, too, I could read, but there's a video there, which probably would help you understand it better than I can explain it. Okay. So, let's do that. Publish. It is on American Liberty Radio Podcast. I'm doing this for you folks, to show you and to prove to you that people are ignoring the obvious. Okay? Now, here's one other thing that I'll put in the comment section of what I just put up there. This is from KSLA News 12. I'm trying to find a date. Oh, here it is. The 22nd of March, 2012. 22nd of March, 2012. I will put it in the comment section on what I had just put up. Your pastor has sold you out, the clergy response teams and the FEMA camps from the Common Sense Show. I'm going to put this article in that comment section for you guys to check out. What I'm saying, folks, is you cannot ignore the obvious anymore. You can. Time out. Put your dunce cap on, get in the corner again. You cannot ignore any of this anymore. You can't. There's absolutely no way that you can do that. No way. And when I come back from the break, I will get into the next article. American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Broadcasting from FEMA Region 8, sharing the truth one fact at a time, without all the BS. This is the American Liberty Radio Network.
The people of the world are now seeing what the globalists have always intended. They are engaged in a campaign to rid the world of 90% of humanity. They are well on their way of achieving this. But, with the corrupt mainstream media aligning themselves with such diabolical philosophies, the globalists are now being exposed and the people are now seeing them for who they truly are. Thanks for the most part to the independent media revealing the connection of the mainstream media to globalists like George Soros and others who invest and spread disinformation.
Don't say you haven't been warned. Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. DistortedReality.podbean.com and Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on American Liberty Radio Network. Sharing the truth one fact at a time, without all the BS. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com.
There's a show that's not afraid to ask questions no one else will ask. Not afraid to say
what no one else will say.
Friday nights at 7 p.m. Listen to Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie, where no topic is off limits. Conspiracy theories, paranormal activities, hoaxes, the unexplained. It's what we talk about. Question everything. Trust no one. Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie. Friday at 7 p.m. on the KCOR Digital Radio Network out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome back. This is Wayne S. Pierce for the American Liberty Radio Network. Hey, how you doing? Yeah. What a day, man. What a day. David Horowitz lays out globalist plan to overthrow Trump. Conservative author reveals attack plan of anti-Trump movement. Today, 20th of May, 2017, Infowars.com. Alex Jones is joined by renowned author David Horowitz to discuss the globalist forces behind the movement to overthrow Trump's America. And there's a video there, folks, and I want you to check it out. Well, let me do this. Instead of sharing with you the whole page, since it's only a video, I will copy the link and put it over here. So how you guys doing? I mean, seriously, I mean, you're looking around and you're seeing everything that's going on. Why are you ignoring it? There it is. The video is up on American Liberty Radio Podcast. Why are you ignoring everything? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Okay? It doesn't. It's just, it doesn't, folks. No sense whatsoever. I don't get it. I've talked to people before, and they've kind of, they've walked on eggshells because they didn't know how to respond to some of the things I've said, or they don't know how to talk to me because, they think that I, am only single-minded about certain things. Well, no, not really, because, and somebody once told me, well, you just want people to agree with you. No, I don't. I want people to disagree with me. I want to sit down and have a decent discussion with people, and without them getting all pissed off at the fact that I have a differing opinion than they do. And some people would say, well, you're very defensive because you think the same way. It's like, you want, I don't get pissed off that people think differently than I do. I get pissed off that they're ignorant about the issues. And now I'm using ignorant in the right way, or in a way that is appropriate in this context. They're just they don't have the knowledge, the intellectual prowess to really understand what's going on. And they're ignoring the obvious. It's staring them in the face and they don't really care. Okay? They don't really care. It's one of those things where if someone were to tell me, well, you got to know, how to pick your fights. No, I don't. I drop the bomb in the middle of your ignorance and you're the one that's going to clean it up, but then I'll come back and look at it and go, told you that wasn't the way it was supposed to be. Or, it's like, I've done that before. I've just blown everybody out of the water, and then everybody's looking at me looking for answers, and I'm like, hey, I told you what the answer was. You didn't like it, so there's nothing I can do about that. Oh, folks, I don't usually do this, but I'll take another break, so I will come back. We'll talk about the article that I got staring me in the face on my web browser, and we'll go from there. So I want to remind you, AmericanLibertyRadio.com, AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Go to the sponsors page and drop $1 in a kitty to help me keep the lights on around here. Talk to you in a bit. This is American Liberty Radio Network.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and it was good. Then God created man, and it wasn't bad. But the masses were asses. They were lost. They had no guidance. So God sat and thought about it. And he created the Exum Experience. And God sent forth Alex to entertain the people of Israel, the Canaanites, the Palestinians, and the douchebags. And Alex led his flock through the dark, cold, rugged terrain of Long Beach Radio. He conquered the Hmong's. He cast down the elderly and banished the foul burn, and it was good. The Exum Experience. It's not just a show, it's a religious experience.
Join me live Friday at 5 only at alexexum.com. There's a show that's not afraid to ask questions no one else will ask. Not afraid to say
what no one else will say.
Friday nights at 7 p.m. Listen to Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie, where no topic is off limits. Conspiracy theories, paranormal activity, hoaxes, the unexplained. It's what we talk about. Question everything. Trust no one. Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie. Friday at 7 p.m. on the KCOR Digital Radio Network out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We're in the boredom-killing business. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"
American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Hey folks, how you doing? I left the microphone on there for a second, right before the end of that. Before the end of that, sorry. Hey, we burp, okay? We got a little gassy, we burp, So there we go. So how y'all doing today? That's the music you're hearing is from YouTube from a group called Silent Partner. And that little tune is called Fire Breather. So you want to go to YouTube, look up Silent Partner. Now let me turn it up. Yeah, Silent Partner with Fire Breather. Find that little clip on YouTube. Yeah, so there you go. That's awesome. Thank you guys over there at Silent Partner. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, let me get into this next article. I may go into overdrive. I may extend this a bit. Not sure as of right now. So, let's see. Hey, did you know that Trump went to Saudi Arabia and just did a $350 billion deal with Saudis? I think that's what it was. I don't know. Let me go look. Donald Trump and First Lady Melania, plus Ivanka, are greeted by the Saudi king. Trump touched down in the Middle East this morning. 20th of May, 2017. President Donald Trump has landed in Saudi Arabia as he begins his first foreign tour since taking office. He touched down in the Middle East this morning, hours after tweeting about his excitement for his first big foreign trip. Trump flew to the capital of Riyadh, on Air Force One, becoming the only president to make Saudi Arabia, or any majority Muslim country, his first stop overseas as president. His arrival, following a 6,700-mile flight, was met with a pomp usually reserved for the likes of a papal welcome in South America. The president got the red carpet treatment, literally, and some airport workers took off their shoes before manicuring it with brooms in 97-degree heat. Okay? So he landed in Saudi Arabia. Now, let me go over to over here and search this. Trump makes deal with Saudi. Oops, if I can spell the word right. Yeah, here is this. A weapons deal. Oh, I was completely off. Holy mackerel. See, I didn't know. Or maybe I wasn't. See, even I make mistakes. Oops. U.S. Saudi Arabia seal weapons deal worth nearly $110 billion immediately. $350 billion over the next 10 years. This is from CNBC, from Javier E. David, 23 minutes ago. So apparently it's today, 20th September 2017, or 20th of May 2017. Yeah, let's not hurry this year up any faster. The United States has sealed an arms deal with Saudi Arabia. The White House announced on Saturday a move that solidifies its decades-long alliance with the world's largest energy producer just as President Donald Trump begins an official visit to the country. This agreement, which is worth $350 billion over 10 years and $110 billion that will take effect immediately, was hailed by the White House as, quote, a significant expansion of the security relationship, unquote, between the two countries. I'm just going to stop right there. I'm going to let you read the rest, draw your own conclusions on this. I'm putting this up on the American Liberty Radio podcast. Folks, if you cannot put two and two together, something is definitely wrong with you. One side of this is Saudi Arabia is the petroleum importer to the United States of America. Okay? We have to protect our investment that we have in Saudi Arabia by supplying them with funds to support their military to protect our investment. Okay, that's logical, right? That's just a logical way of looking at it, right? On the other side of that, Saudi Arabia is engaging in, let's put it this way, human rights violations across the board. Okay? I'm just laying it out there for you that we are supporting a country that throws homosexuals off buildings, that beheads Christians, that tears apart families, that does everything to the human that could be just possibly imagined, but we accept their oil, and we are supporting them through our purchasing of that oil that is refined apparently over here as well. So, do you see a problem here? Do you see a problem here? Can we call that a conflict of interest? And why are we giving them $350 billion over the next 10 years? To protect our investment? I have always said it. Follow the money, connect the dots. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to do about Saudi Arabia. I don't know what your opinion is. I'd like to know. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. I want to know. Because as far as I'm concerned, we need to get the hell out of Saudi Arabia. We just need to flip them off, give them the finger, and say, screw you, we got enough oil in our land to take care of us for the next 1,000 years at least, or more. We don't need your imports. We don't need you harboring terrorists. We don't need to fund you and supply you with, billions of dollars worth of humanitarian aid. We don't need to do that. We don't need to buy your oil. We need to get the hell out of OPEC. We need to get the hell out of the UN. We need to tell them to go FO and, bite us in the, Some analysts would tell me I'm wrong. You can kiss my ass. I'm not wrong. And you know it. That's just the way it is. Let's move on, shall we? Let's move on. Mikhail Thalen over at Infowars.com yesterday posted an article, Vault 7. WikiLeaks publishes new CIA documents on Windows malware. Athena malware targets Microsoft operating systems from Windows XP to Windows 10. CIA documents concerning malware designed for Windows computers were published online Friday as part of a WikiLeaks latest Vault 7 dump. The malware known as Athena targets Microsoft operating systems from 2001's Windows XP to the company's current Windows 10 release. Dates of the documents, which range from September 2015 to February 2016, reveal the CIA's ability to hack Windows 10 only months after it became available to the public. Athena, which provides remote beacon and loader capabilities on victim machines, was co-developed by, wait for it, the CIA and New Hampshire-based cybersecurity company Siege Technologies. I'm just going to stop right there because if I go on, I'll get more pissed than what I already am. I want want you all to know that your buddies who are in their mama's basement hacking everything around the world are going to be hired by the government to develop software to hack into your computer. I know that's vague. I know that's probably, not even close to being accurate, but this is what has happened in the past. And you can go through the records and see what's on there. You can see this for yourself. Yes. Teenagers who have hacked systems have later became software developers who the government has come along and said, hey, you want to develop some software for us? Yeah. Follow the money. Okay? Just saying. Just saying. Just putting it out there. I just don't. I think I'm going to go an hour today, folks. The thing that we have to really focus our attention on is what the government is doing and the ramifications of their involvement in our lives in the way that they want. And we don't want them involved in our lives. We don't want them taking over our lands. We don't want them taking over our health care. We don't want them taking over our schools. We don't want them taking over our businesses. We don't want any of that. Okay? We, the people, don't want any of that. And we have to push and push and push and push and push for our, we need to push them into a corner and say, you will repeal the Act of 1871. You will repeal the Federal Reserve Act. You will repeal the IRS Act. You will repeal all these things that have been detrimental to the American society since 1913 and since 1871. You will repeal it now. We need to do that. And the only way to do that is to locally, in your own state, go to your state capital, and with hundreds of thousands of people, if you can get those people together, even tens of thousands, even thousands of people if you'd like, go to the state capital and force them to do what you want. Okay? Now, I know that might, you're calling for a coup against the United States of America. No, I'm not. Here's what I'm telling you. Hold your damn politicians responsible for the actions they take against you. Is that so hard to do? Is that so hard to do? You're going to hold them accountable for what they do. You're going to hold them responsible for the actions they take. Much like you do with your own children. And these crybaby, whining fascist Republicans and socialist Democrats, they're going to throw temper tantrums and say, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do anything you want us to do because, you voted us here and we're going to do whatever we want. Ultimately, it's time to put our politicians in a permanent timeout. Go to the corner, put on your dunce cap, and sit there until I tell you, you can come out of that corner. Basically, what I'm saying is, go to the Capitol buildings in your state, go to the Capitol in Washington, D.C., and tell them, enough's enough, jackass. We've had enough of your crap. We, the people, are going to tell you what to do, and you're going to do it. And if you don't, we're going to make you do it. And if you still don't want to do it, well, guess what? We're going to push for a repeal by the Supreme Court. We're going to push for a repeal of the Act of 1871, taking away all of your power. Oh, by the way, little side note, did you know that little 10 square mile piece of land called Washington, D.C. is the only land that they own? They constitutionally cannot own any other piece of land in the United States of America. So guess what they do? They hand over the keys, or I should say they hand the Bureau of Land Management a document that says you got a la carte, you can do whatever you want, because we're not going to be responsible for what you do. But here's what we want you to do. But we're not going to be responsible for it. But here's what we want you to do. So don't tell anybody that we gave you this. And you see what I'm saying? We, the people, can manage our own land quite well. Thank you. We don't need the Bureau of Land Management. We don't need the federal government. In anything that we do, we don't need the federal government, the centralized federal government that our founding fathers warned us about. We don't need it. We don't need it. Cut the 10 square mile piece of land off and throw it in the Atlantic. We don't need it. We, the people, can take care of ourselves. Don't believe me? What did we do before government? We did quite well, didn't we? What did we do prior to 1913? What did we do prior to the signature of President Woodrow Wilson on the Federal Reserve Act or the Internal Revenue Act? What did we do? We did quite well. We were fantastic. From 1913 to 1929, those 16 years were crucial because we had World War I. That ended in 1918. World War I, 1914 and 1918. And then we had a reprieve there, building up of certain areas. And then in 1929, it all went to hell again in October of 1929 with the stock market crash. Then the New Deal in 1933, which totally screwed the country again. Shall I go on and give you a history lesson? By the way, World War II did not start in 1941. It started in 1938. We got involved in 1941 after the bombing of Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941. So I don't want to hear it anymore from you lefties out there. You can bitch and complain at me all you want. I don't care. Your voices are moot. I don't care. You lefties out there can see the door. Bye. Have a nice day. Enjoy. Yeah, go out there and start battling against me. But guess what? I'm a little more powerful than you. So don't think you can get one over on me, because guess what? I know exactly who funds you. I know where your paychecks come from. I know where your support comes from. And guess what? I know who owns your ass. So you lefties out there know exactly what I mean. So anyway, I'm not bitter. I am not bitter. Oh, folks. Just another day. Another day. And I'm off tomorrow, so I won't have a podcast tomorrow, so enjoy the rest of your weekend, folks. This is the 20th of May, 2017. Remember, American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com is where you need to go. Go to the sponsors page. If you like this show and like what I talk about, you can drop $1 in the kitty and become a patron right there and help out the network. Want to email me? AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS.